Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite dolphin, Danny. I hope everyone's doing great. I'm feeling a little better myself. Now, what was the first console and game I ever owned? Well, it was, of course, the Nintendo Entertainment System, darling. Along with Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. These are the first games I ever owned. Now, that might be not new news to people that have been following the channel for some time, as I brought up on multiple occasions that these were my first console and game. I just wanted to go a bit more in depth though, because I find that these discussion videos do pretty good on the channel. So when my mom ended up marrying our stepdad, I got a Nintendo action set, to be precise, with the gun and Duck Hunt, like I've said. And yeah, before that, my only experience with video games was when my mom used to take me to the arcade when I was really, really small. And I'd play Pac-Man and a few other games, and I really, really enjoyed them. And then, of course, like I saw on the television, Nintendo commercials and stuff. So my dad asked me if he could marry my mom. I said, yes, as long as you get me an Nintendo Entertainment System along with some action figures and Ninja Turtle sheets. What a little business, dolphin. Now looking back, I realize I might not even be into gaming as much as I am now if my mom didn't marry my dad. See, my mom was a very hard worker, but she was a single mom. She put herself through college, and we just didn't have the extra money for things like video games and consoles. But, you know, after my mom met my stepdad and got married, you know, over the years we were very spoiled, like heavily spoiled, and, you know, it really fed my love for physical media and collectibles. I guess that's where it really all comes from, so I'm very appreciative of my stepdad and mom, you know, for getting me into all this stuff. Maybe a little too much, as you can tell. I still remember the first day my mom and stepdad brought over the NES home. I was totally overwhelmed. I couldn't believe that this was my own console to have and play at home. Yeah, it was very overwhelming, and my mom set up the system, and I remember, like, instantly when I heard that Mario music come on, I was, like, hooked. I was like, whoa, this is so amazing. You know, I wasn't very good at the game, but I would play for hours, and it was unlike anything I've ever seen before, jumping on weird creatures and turtles, and like I said, the music. There was so much going on. We also played Duck Hunt, and yes, it was very cool. I remember just loving it and thinking, like, this is amazing that I have this all to myself, and my sister, of course, to play with, and we played it for hours. I remember nights when my family would have friends over and everyone would be in the living room, like, you know, playing Duck Hunt or playing Mario, like adults. Everyone was gathered around the TV, and those were some of the coolest times. Some of the also the coolest stuff too, I thought at the time, was some of my parents' friends would bring over extra games and we would play a whole bunch of different games. And I remember thinking, like, oh my god, these adults, they're pretty cool. My very first game though was Super Mario Bros. It's a platforming video game developed and published by Nintendo, the successor to the 1983 arcade game Mario Bros. It was released in Japan in 1985 for the Famicom, in North America and Europe for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985 and 1987. Players could control Mario or his brother Luigi in the multiplayer mode. Oh my god, my sweet baby Luigi. I always liked him more because he was green. As they travel the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue the Princess Toadstool. That's right, she wasn't called Princess Peach yet in North America. The evil Bowser had kidnapped her. The brothers must traverse side-scrolling stages and avoid hazards such as enemies and pits, with the aid of power-ups such as Super Mushrooms, Fire Power, and Starman. Super Mario Bros. Is frequently hailed as one of the all-time greatest video games, with praise going towards its precise controls. It has sold over 40 million physical copies, making it one of the best-selling games of all time, and one of the defying NES games. It is credited along the NES as one of the key factors in reviving the video game industry after the 1983 crash, and helping popularize side-scrolling platform games. It began an expansive franchise including a long-running video game series, an animated television series, and a featured film. Oh, that featured film. Ports and remakes of the games have been released for most of the Nintendo Future systems. Alongside Mario himself, Super Mario Bros. Has become a prominent prominent aspect of popular culture. Now the funny thing is, when I had the NES, the Super Nintendo was already out. My family probably chose the NES though, as it was cheaper and just to save a few bucks. I had played the Super Nintendo at my friend's house, and yes, I liked it. I thought Yoshi was cool in Super Mario World, but I liked the pureness of the platform jumping in Mario 1 and Mario 3 a lot more. I also played a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Manhattan Project on my NES. In 1991 though, the same year that Manhattan Project came out, Turtles in Time came out. Now I was at my neighbor's house and I saw Turtles in Time for the first time, and I was like, how many times can you say time? No, but I was like, this is amazing. That made me turn my head for a second and look at the Super Nintendo like, okay, even though I really love Ninja Turtles Arcade and Manhattan Project, seeing Turtles in Time was very shocking. And yes, I still wouldn't get a Super Nintendo though until 1994 when my cousin got one on Christmas Day along with Donkey Kong Country at my grandma's house. I remember I went up to my family and was like, yeah, now I need a Super Nintendo, because seeing Donkey Kong Country and all that was very amazing. I was like, okay, yes, now I need a Super Nintendo. And of course the next day was Boxing Day. My family went out and got me a Super Nintendo. But yeah, just wanted to share that as well. And yeah, that was what kind of triggered me to get the Super Nintendo. Turtles in Time, I still was like, okay, I kind of want one. Turtles in Time felt shorter and easy to beat, so I wasn't like as into it, but once I saw Donkey Kong Country, I was like, yeah, I need a Super Nintendo. Looking back and reminiscing, I feel very lucky that my family bought me the NES console along with other games. They never cared what movies we watched or anything like that. We got to take it all in as entertainment. We had every toy gun from Super Soakers to Nerf, and me and my sister turned out pretty normal. I feel very lucky in the time we got to grow up in. Things weren't heavily censored back then, so we got to take in so many different types of entertainment that helped shape our interests and our personalities. We have seen so much growth in people's interest in retro gaming. Nintendo released the NES Classic Edition. It is a dedicated video game console by Nintendo which emulates the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. It was launched on November 10th, 2016. Aesthetically, the console is a miniature replica of the NES and includes a static library of 30 built-in games from the licensed NES library, supporting save states for all of them. Nintendo produced and sold about 2.3 million NES Classic Editions from November 2016 through April 2017, with shipments selling out nearly immediately. In 2017, Nintendo announced they were discontinuing the product, what led to price gouging of remaining units there were. In May 2018, Nintendo of America announced on Twitter that the NES Classic would be returning in stores this June. Although I see the trend going towards the 16-bit era now, I still love the 8-bit era. I find it very charming. This was the console and games that started it all for me. I might not be here on YouTube talking about games if I didn't have the NES and Mario Bros. And games like this. I love reminiscing, darling, about the past and these games. I wanted to share a little bit more in depth on, the first console and games I ever had. And these are the ones that started it all for me and, basically made me love gaming. And of course I love 16-bit and everything that came after, but this stuff was the stuff that started it all for me. I hope you enjoyed me discussing these topics, as I do like to do these discussion videos once in a while, and yeah, I think they do pretty well on the channel usually. So yeah, I just like to share my thoughts. I love to reminisce, so thank you as always. Thank you for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like and comment. I love the back and forth. So many nice, awesome, cool people here, and I love you all, and this is just about being yourself and loving video games and sharing that all together. So if you're new here, maybe check out another video. I always say don't judge me on one video, darling. But yeah, if you're a regular here, yeah, thank you for watching. I highly appreciate your support, and I want to continue doing this. I'm almost at that 1K mark, 1,000 follows. That will be a huge goal for me. And yes, lots of giveaways coming out, something special for the 1K, and the other video will be out soon for the giveaways for the 6,000 Instagram follows and hitting 800 on YouTube. So watch out for that stuff. It'll be happening very soon. So thank you as always for your support. And yeah, I love you all. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay positive. This dolphin might even catch you on that flip side, y'all. Bye!